The world is a complex place, filled with countless events and interactions that shape our daily lives. Events unfold that defy easy explanation, leaving us searching for answers in a sea of information. Is it any wonder that people seek answers in the shadows, where the unknown can be molded into something comprehensible? Conspiracy theories offer a seductive narrative, a way to make sense of the seemingly senseless. They promise to make sense of the chaos, to connect the dots in a world that often feels disjointed and unpredictable. One of the most enduring and unsettling is the idea of a shadowy elite orchestrating global events, pulling the strings from behind the scenes. This elite, so the theory goes, desires nothing less than total control over the world's political and economic systems. Their ultimate goal? A new world order, a single, unified government that dictates every aspect of our lives. These theories often point to World War III as a pivotal event in their twisted plan, a cataclysmic conflict that will reshape the world order. They believe this war is not a matter of if but when, a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. The idea of a third world war, a conflict dwarfing all previous ones, is terrifying, a nightmare scenario that haunts our collective consciousness. It's easy to get caught up in the fear, but we must resist the urge to succumb to panic and paranoia. We must ask ourselves, what is real and what is manipulation? How much of what we hear is based on fact, and how much is designed to deceive? Conspiracy theories thrive on fear and uncertainty, preying on our deepest anxieties and insecurities. They offer simple explanations for complex problems, providing a sense of clarity in a confusing world. They provide scapegoats and fuel distrust in established institutions, undermining the very fabric of our society. But the truth, as always, is far more nuanced. It requires careful investigation and a willingness to look beyond the surface. It's crucial to approach these theories with a critical eye. We must demand evidence, scrutinize sources, and question motives. We must challenge our own biases, recognizing that our perceptions can be easily manipulated. Only then can we separate fact from fiction and navigate the complex world with a clearer, more informed perspective. The specter of World War III has haunted humanity for decades. The mere thought of another global conflict sends shivers down the spine of many, evoking memories of past tensions and fears. The Cold War, with its nuclear standoff, cast a long shadow over the latter half of the 20th century. It was a period marked by intense rivalry and the ever-present threat of nuclear annihilation. The threat of mutually assured destruction hung over the world like a dark cloud, influencing politics, culture, and daily life. People lived in constant fear of a sudden catastrophic end. It was a terrifying time, with air raid drills and bomb shelters becoming a part of everyday life. Propaganda fueled the fear and families prepared for the worst. But even after the fall of the Berlin Wall, the fear remained. The end of the Cold War did not completely erase the anxieties that had built up over decades. Today, we see new tensions rising. Modern geopolitical conflicts and military exercises remind us that the world is still a volatile place. The conflict in Ukraine has reignited fears of a global confrontation. The situation is a stark reminder of how quickly regional conflicts can escalate. Russia's nuclear saber-rattling has sent chills down spines worldwide. The rhetoric and displays of power are reminiscent of the darkest days of the Cold War. Is this the beginning of something far worse? Experts and analysts debate the potential for escalation, but the future remains uncertain. Are we on the brink of another world war? The question looms large as world leaders navigate these treacherous waters. The answer, like everything else, is complex. The geopolitical landscape is intricate, with many factors at play. There are no easy answers. Diplomacy and strategy are crucial, but so is the will to avoid conflict. But one thing is certain: the legacy of the Cold War continues to shape our world. The lessons learned and the scars left behind still influence global politics today. The threat of nuclear war may have receded, but it has not vanished. We must remain vigilant and proactive in our efforts to prevent such a catastrophe. We must work towards a future free from the threat of annihilation. Through cooperation, understanding, and a commitment to peace, we can build a safer world for future generations. At the heart of the World War III conspiracy lies a shadowy cabal, a group shrouded in mystery and secrecy. This group, often referred to as the New World Order, supposedly pulls the strings from behind the scenes, orchestrating global events to suit their agenda. They are the puppet masters, and we are the puppets manipulated without our knowledge or consent, or so the theory goes, casting a shadow of doubt and skepticism over the official narratives we are fed. But who are these alleged masterminds behind the curtain? Conspiracy theorists point to powerful individuals and organizations, those who wield immense influence and control. They whisper about secret societies like the Illuminati and the Bilderberg Group, organizations cloaked in secrecy and power. They accuse global elites like the Rothschild family of manipulating world events for their benefit, steering the course of history to their advantage. According to this narrative, World War III is not an accident, but a deliberate and calculated move. It is a carefully orchestrated event, planned with precision and intent. The goal? To dismantle the existing world order and replace it with a totalitarian one-world government, a regime with absolute control. They believe this war will create the chaos and destruction necessary for their plan to succeed, paving the way for their new order. They will emerge from the ashes more powerful than ever before, ready to impose their vision of a new world. Section 4. The Web of Control, from Pandemics to Cyber Warfare. The New World Order conspiracy theorists see their influence everywhere. They point to events like the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine as evidence of their machinations. They believe these events are not random occurrences but carefully planned operations. The pandemic, they argue, was a bioweapon designed to control the population. The lockdowns, the masks, the vaccines, all part of a sinister plan to strip us of our freedoms. Cyber warfare too plays a central role in their narrative. They believe the internet is not a tool for connection, but a weapon for control. They see the fingerprints of the New World Order on everything from economic collapses to natural disasters. They believe nothing is as it seems. Everything is part of a grand conspiracy. Section 5. Social media's cauldron breeding ground for conspiracy theories. The internet, once hailed as a tool for democratization, has become a breeding ground for conspiracy theories. Social media platforms in particular have played a significant role in spreading these narratives. Algorithms designed to keep us engaged have inadvertently created echo chambers. We are bombarded with information that confirms our existing biases. Conspiracy theories thrive in this environment. They spread like wildfire, fueled by fear, anger, and mistrust. The rise of fake news has further muddied the waters. It has become increasingly difficult to distinguish between fact and fiction. Social media companies are facing growing pressure to address this issue. But it is a complex problem with no easy solutions. We must be vigilant consumers of information. We must be critical of what we see and read online. Section 6. Separating fact from fiction, critical thinking in the age of misinformation. We live in an age of information overload. Every day we are bombarded with a constant stream of news, opinions, and propaganda. It can be overwhelming. How do we make sense of it all? The answer lies in critical thinking. Critical thinking is more than just being skeptical. It's about asking questions, challenging assumptions, and demanding evidence. When we encounter a claim, especially an extraordinary one, we must ask ourselves, what is the source? Is there evidence to support the claim? Does it make logical sense? What are the other possible explanations? We must be wary of confirmation bias, the tendency to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs. We must be willing to consider different perspectives, even those we disagree with. Section 7. A Call for Peace. Navigating uncertainty and building a better future. It's easy to feel powerless in the face of global uncertainty. The threat of war, the pandemic, the rise of authoritarianism, these are daunting challenges. It's tempting to retreat into fear and despair, but we must resist that urge. We must choose hope over fear. We must choose action over apathy. We must remember that we are not powerless. We have the power to shape our future. We can choose to reject the narratives of fear and division peddled by conspiracy theorists. We can choose to build a world based on cooperation, understanding, and respect. Let us work together to create a future where war is unthinkable, where differences are celebrated, and where all people can live in peace and dignity.